Enjoy the night in basketball.
For the first time in its history, Boston will play a Game 6 after going up 3-0 in a series. For the third time in this series, Rajon Rondo and the Celtics will try to punch their ticket to the NBA Finals. It all goes down next on ESPN.
Pressure. It can be fickle. It can shift. It can appear without warning.
Rondo goes right at Carter, blocked by Howard, and a technical foul on Perkins. And boy, is that a costly call for the Boston Celtics.
Tonight, for the first time in these Eastern Conference Finals, there is pressure on the Celtics.
Boston Celtics beat up, battered, and all of a sudden this series that seemed like it was over has become a very interesting Eastern Conference Final.
After a grueling, physical Game 5, the scene shifts to Boston. Can the Magic survive a third straight elimination game? Or will Boston be relieved of the pressure of facing a Game 7 on the road?
You can feel it. You can see it coming. It's like one of them storms. It's like...
Magic, Celtics, Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals is next on ESPN.
Welcome to Kia NBA Shootaround.
What's good? We did not know that we would get to this point, and to be real honest with you all, once it was 3-0, nobody you see on television right now thought that it would get to this point. Am I right or am I right?
You're right.
Okay,
Yes, you're right.
Make no mistake, the Eastern Conference Finals are on. Welcome to Kia NBA Shootaround. 1 full hour to get you set for a game where both teams are facing some serious pressure. I'm Stuart Scott alongside Mike Wilbon, John Barry, Hall of Famer and 5-time champion Earvin Magic Johnson. All right, Magic, what one piece of advice would you give Boston tonight?
Play like you did the first 3 games. You defended, you rebound, and you got out into the fast break. Rajon Rondo, you got to show up tonight.
Play this as if it were a Game 7. Because like Mike Wilbon's favorite musician, Kenny Loggins, this is it.
You're going back
This is it. They are not going to Orlando winning Game 7.
I'm going to go further.
Wait, is Kenny Loggins really your favorite musician?
No.
Okay.
Maybe
All right.
35
Southside
years ago.
Chicago?
35 years ago, maybe. I'm going to go a step further. Play like it's your last game together, because it might be. I mean, how long are you going to keep the Boston Celtics, this group together? So play like it's your last time together. Last supper. How about that?
By now that you know, in the NBA, 93 teams have gone up 3-0, and all 93 have won the series. If Orlando can buck the trend, don't be shocked. They are used to making history. Last season, in the conference semifinals, Boston went up 3-2 on Orlando. At that time, the Celtics were 32-0 in those situations. But Orlando won Game 6 at home and waxed the Celtics in Game 7 at the Garden. Now the Magic are 2 wins away from making history again. Here's how they got halfway home.
Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
I just feel that we just keep believing in each other and trusting one another, and also just play as hard as we can. You know, anything's possible.
Howard down the lane. Monster jam by Dwight Howard. Nelson knocks down a 3. Already 3 3-pointers for Orlando. Barnes hits a 3. Redick for 3. Bang! Todd is saying that Perkins elbowed him, and then he hit the basketball. Double technical, and a foul call. Perkins walking away, and a technical foul on Perkins. It's his second one, and his night is over. Boy, is that a costly call for the Boston Celtics. Kendrick Perkins does the right thing. Frustrated with the call, he walks away from it.
Didn't think he deserved either one, but he got him.
I didn't think Dwight deserved the flagrant foul from the last game. I mean, we all have things we don't like.
Nelson has to throw it up. Oh, he puts in the 3 as the shot clock expires. Davis slow to get up. I think Davis is Boy, he's struggling with his balance right now. Boy, Davis looks a little disoriented. Lewis, tough shot, gets it to go. And again, Rashard Lewis, back-to-back jumpers. The lead is up to 13. Orlando wins game 5. The Magic dreams of a championship still very much alive.
Tonight they were the better team. They just played better than us tonight.
I don't know if you can say you have momentum when you're down 3-2 going into their place. I still look at it like we're climbing a huge mountain right here, but we are playing better.
The Magic became the 6th team since the merger to rally to force a Game 6 after being down 3-0. The last team to do it, the Chicago Bulls in 2007, who lost in 6 to the Pistons. Only the 2003 Trailblazers, guys, and the 94 Nuggets pushed their series, even pushed it to 7 games. So the stage is set for the Magic to even up the conference finals.
This is going to be a whole nother level of challenge tonight. I mean, this is obviously a huge game on their home floor. Where it's a game, obviously a must-win for us, but I think they look at it as a must-win for them also.
Coach, thanks for dressing up. Hey, in Game 5, Kendrick Perkins picked up a pair of technical fouls, giving him 7 for the playoffs. That's an automatic 1-game suspension, but the league reviewed both fouls and they rescinded the second technical. So Perkins will play tonight. That's the good news for Boston. The bad news, that their other bigs are a bit banged up. For an update, let's head up to Boston and Doris Burke. Doris?
Stuart, Doc Rivers just told us that Marquise Daniels is definitively out. Everybody else will be dressed and in uniform. And if, in fact, in uniform, they are 100% in his words. So the anticipation is everyone. Rasheed Wallace will play with that balky back. Glenn Davis will play, though he was supposed to go through some tests pregame to make sure of that. But our understanding is the Celtics, outside of Marquise Daniels, are prepared to play tonight. Back to you, Stu.
All right, Doris, thanks a lot. A lot to talk about. Let's take this thing one item at a time. Magic, given what happened to Kendrick Perkins and the way that the fouls were called, all the attention that's on the fouls, on the officiating, you've been in this situation before. What should the players expect tonight?
Well, Stuart, first of all, it's been physical in this first 5 games. And expect tonight quick whistles. The referees are going to look to control the game, and make sure that nothing happens. There's been a lot of elbows, a lot of technical fouls. So look for the referees to really control this game early.
Quicker whistles than the first 5 games?
No question about it. As well as the players must adjust to the referees, not the referees adjusting to the players.
All right, that's for that. As for the Boston Celtics and their situations, their injuries, and Kendrick Perkins, you heard, he's in. Glenn Davis, less than 48 hours after a concussion, he's in. Rasheed Wallace, still nagging, he's in. How does all this news, JB, affect the Boston Celtics tonight?
Well, after those two guys, their option Sheldon Williams, who's played 10 minutes in this series, has got no field goals. So you don't want to resort to that. And the problem is really twofold. If you lose Baby and Rasheed, we don't know if they're going to be 100% to be able to go the whole game. If something happens to them, you're talking about 2 guys that average 20 points a game. They're shooting over 50%. 2 guys that can bang on Dwight Howard. But more importantly, 2 guys that can stretch the floor. Rasheed Wallace can bring Dwight Howard out to that 3-point line. Glenn Big Baby Davis can knock down 18 to 20-foot shots. So you can pull Dwight Howard out of the lane. If these 2 guys aren't healthy and not being able to contribute to this game, it hurts the Celtics in a big way.
Have you ever had a concussion or concussion-like symptoms and then played a basketball game a few days later?
I've had a concussion myself. I've had one, and I played a couple games later.
How did it affect you?
It didn't affect me at all because I got kicked and I got all my senses back.
Well, he could play in his sleep. But it didn't matter.
But the main thing here, JB, you're right. The main thing here is the fact that this is Game 6 in Boston. They're going to come out ready. I don't care what happens. They're going to come out ready.
You talked about production and contribution, and there are a lot of ways to measure that. Some of them subtle, like fouls, minutes played, energy level. I mean, one of the reasons the Boston Celtics got to the point where they could be so dominant in the postseason, as we saw through Game 3 of this series, was that they had all their parts back. I mean, for so long, the Celtics were searching, and they kept saying, we're not worried about what our seed is as long as we can get everybody back. Well, they got everybody back, and they played great. Now, we don't know if they have everybody back. Everybody will be present and accounted for, but how much can they contribute? And so that's why I think Doris's report is essential. Can we see those guys out there, and how close to 100% will they be?
Everybody's got pressure on them, Orlando, because This is an elimination game, but if Orlando has to play an elimination game, those kids love seeing the Boston Celtics on the other bench. Over the last 4 postseasons, the Magic are perfect 4-0 against the Celtics in elimination games. You know, games where if you lose, they go home and, as JB says, start golf season. They're 0-3 against everyone else, and I don't know if they like chowder or what, but they've won 2 of those 4 games in Boston Garden. We're just getting the ball rolling on this hour-long Kia NBA Shootaround. How do Rasheed Wallace and the Celtics put this thing away? Defense. Boston 11-1 when they allow fewer than 100 points in the playoffs. They're 0-4 when they give up more than 100. Coming up next, we're talking about a wild finish out west.
Still ahead. We'll look ahead to Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Will the Lakers clinch the series in the Valley of the Sun?
Dwight, I need you on the floor. You cannot commit fouls. Stay on the floor. Points and rebounds are tough to come by when you're sitting next to me. Hey, come with me. We'll go into the virtual world with the Orlando Magic.
And then, after a physical and intense Game 5, the Magic try to even the series in Boston. Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals is next on ESPN.
Our story began with a bicycle back in 1951. From there, we just challenged ourselves to keep coming up with better ways to help people get around. Over 50 years later, that philosophy has taken us a long way. Introducing the all-new Kia Sorento, proudly built in our new West Point, Georgia plant.
Yeah, some guys have never even had a mic, so beer is all they ever drink?
Yeah. It's like being with the same woman your whole life.
Getting married this weekend.
That one's on him.
Don't forget the mics. Lemonade for grown-ups.
Where do I stand on the issues? Right here.
When I said I would run, I meant away.
Vote for your favorite M&M's character at MMS.com and you could win $50,000.
Saturday, bragging rights are on the line as 43 teams look to leave their mark at the track NASCAR calls home. Coming off a dominating win at Dover, reigning series champ Kyle Busch closes in on points leader Brad Keselowski, while Kevin Harvick goes gunning for his 3rd win of the season at NASCAR's mile-and-a-half Beast of the Southeast. The nationwide series at Charlotte. Coverage begins Saturday at 2 Eastern on ABC.
Kia NBA Shootaround, brought to you by the all-new 2011 Kia Sorento, official vehicle of the NBA. And Lumix digital cameras, compact with impact, from Panasonic, ideas for life.
Oh, by the way, one major reason no NBA team has ever come back from 0-3 is because no Game 7 has ever been played on the home court of the team that was down 0-3. That would change in this series if Vince Carter and the Magic can come up with the road win tonight. Speaking of road wins, the Suns nearly pulled off a comeback for the ages in L.A. last night.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy game.
Gets to the rim, lays it in, is held and fouled by Fisher. Nash again will go to the line. 4 to shoot for Nash, crossing over into the lane to the glass. Hands to Stoudemire, got the shot up, beat the buzzer and laid it in. Suns within 1. Oh, what a play. Fisher with it. Finds Artest coming to the top of the key. Turnaround jumper, too strong. Gasol grabs the rebound. Out to Artest, reloads with 21 to shoot. Missed the 3.
You know, you understand and kind of feel for a player, but at that time of the game, it's not a good play. And, you know, I want to let him know that he has to know that.
Suns down by 3. Nash for 3 in transition. Off the back rim. Grab the rebound to Richardson. A 3 for the tie, in and out. 5 with the rebound to Richardson. In the air with 5 for the tie. He banked into 3. Tie ball game at 101 with 3 and 5/10 seconds left. Holy mackerel.
That bank shot from 3 is pretty fortunate. 1-2, right? One good shot deserves another one.
Kobe, turnaround jump shot of 3 is short. Artest the rebound. Oh! Artest with the putback scores at the buzzer. The Lakers have won in Game 5 on an Artest rebound and bucket.
He just has a knack of being, crucial plays.
Sometimes it's all about quality, not quantity. Since 2002, in both the regular and postseasons, Ron Artest 4 points, the second fewest in a game for someone who hit a buzzer beater. And I don't know if this is, the only time this has happened. Hours after that buzzer beater today, Ron Artest was fined today, guys, for being late to practice. Serious story. It's Ron Artest. What do you expect?
Oh, man.
By the way, the Lakers are one win away from their third straight NBA Finals.
Well, I didn't want to. When I first made the shot, if you see the tape, I really wasn't that happy. Then I seen my teammates come to me. Well, actually, when I seen Kobe running to me, I got real excited. But I had to enjoy it. I had to enjoy it with my teammates. But if it was up to me, I would have just went in the locker room. I would just went in the locker room and we move on.
Well, we got a great opportunity, so everyone's excited and looking forward to tomorrow rather than worrying about what happened, last game.
They tell me a series doesn't start until somebody went on somebody's home court. So hopefully we can take care of that tomorrow, and then we'll have one more chance to go out there and win on their home court.
If you're facing LA in LA and your series is tied at 2, dog, you got problems. The Lakers are 19-0 all-time in those situations. No one is even close to that record. Phil Jackson 8-0 in those spots. Pretty good, but the Lakers still better watch out for Steve Nash. Don't sleep on him. 29 points, 11 dimes in Game 6, and the focus of tonight's Coach's Corner with our coach, Byron Scott.
Thanks, Stuart. Even though the Lakers escaped with a win in Game 5, I want to give you one big reason why they should be a little worried about Game 6, and that is Steve Nash. If you can watch up here, he's playing against the Lakers' great defense, but they're switching on all pick and rolls. But Odom is playing too far back, and that gives Steve a 15-footer, and he's going to knock that down 90% of the time. Here, this is just a mismatch with Paul Gasol trying to guard one of the cleverest point guards in the game, and he knocks down the jumper on this one. And right now, again, Fisher, Gasol, switch. He brings it back up to the top. He knows he got a one-on-one mismatch, shoots it, knocks down the jumper. If the Lakers continue to switch on the defensive end against Steve Nash and he continues to be aggressive on the offensive end, this series could go to Game 7.
You know, Rajon Rondo always, freaks kids with the okie doke. That was Steve Nash freaking Paul Gasol at its best with the okie doke. We're going to see Byron Scott later on in the show. Back to the Suns and Lakers. JB, what do you expect from Game 6 tomorrow night?
I expect Kobe time. No question about it. He's played great throughout the series. I expect him to be great. And I think he senses a dangerous Phoenix team. Not a wounded team after a crushing loss like last night. That was a crushing loss for the Phoenix Suns. But I think he senses that this team is confident, and they're going to play well. He called out his team before Game 5 defensively, and they responded. The Lakers played excellent defensively. I think he's going to be in his guys' ears again, saying, guys, we do not want Game 7. This is a dangerous team. We got to get this thing done now.
But is it Kobe time for a win or Kobe time for a loss? Because it's been Kobe time the whole series, but they've still lost games.
Throw numbers out. I'm just talking about getting in his team's ear like he did before Game 5, saying we have lost focus defensively. We're worried about attacking the zone. We need to play defense. Defense wins championships. That's what he said. He's going to be in his Lakers' ears going into Game 6.
To me, JB, is about the role players. When you think about the Phoenix Suns, that means they're bench players as well as Grant Hill and Robin Lopez. That also means Channing Frye and Dudley, and all those guys coming in off the bench, Barbosa, they have to play well. Then on the Lakers side, Lamar Odom, Derek Fisher, Sasha, there's Jordan Farmar. Those role players, Bynum, where is he now? He's struggling right now. The role players and the bench players will decide who wins Game 6 in Phoenix.
You guys talked about something with Phoenix. JB, you did. You and I have been around them in recent years when they have suffered some devastating losses. And, to be honest, they seemed shell-shocked. I mean, their reaction to this, Steve Nash even said that, going back to the Tim Duncan three-pointer in Game 1 of the playoffs a couple of seasons ago. This is a different Suns team, and I think that's what Kobe is trying to emphasize. He can sense that. This team has a confidence that we have not seen in previous Suns teams, even though Amari, Grant Hill, Steve Nash have been on recent teams to suffer some of those losses. This team doesn't seem discouraged. If you looked at Alvin Gentry and you looked at Steve Nash, they were not panicked. They were not slump-shouldered and thinking, oh, my God, we're done. They believe they are going to get back to Game 7 and take it from there in this series.
Well, they should feel good. It was an outstanding game. And, you know, when you think about it, if that game had went into overtime, all the momentum was with the Phoenix Suns. So if it wasn't for Ron Artest and that putback on the offensive rebound, we may be talking Phoenix Suns going home trying to close the Lakers out.
Very resilient group, the Suns.
They are.
No question.
And Ron Artest, get to practice on time, dog. Especially after a
Asking
shot like
a lot.
that.
Come on now.
For the second straight year, LeBron James won the regular season MVP and went home early in the playoffs. And for the second straight year, Kobe Bryant continues to paint his Picasso-like brushstrokes in the month of May. Kobe has now scored at least 30 points in 9 of his last 10 games. If he scores 30 in Game 6, he will tie Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for second most 30-point playoff games ever with 75. Of course, Michael Jordan owns a record with an almost untouchable 109. J.J. Redick and his threes will be the key for Orlando tonight. When the Magic make 9 or more threes, they are perfect 10-0 in the postseason. 8 or fewer, they have not won a game. Coming up next on Kia NBA Shootaround, JB takes us into his virtual world with the key to the Magic's success on defense, how Jameer Nelson and Dwight Howard will try and run the pick and roll to perfection.
We were born to see the world in 3 dimensions, and the new Panasonic Viera Full HD 3D TV is the ultimate 3D experience. Immerse yourself in incredible depth and clarity thanks to fast-switching phosphors and Infinite Black Panel Pro.
Panasonic Plasma is the difference.
With 3D this lifelike, can we still call it a TV?
Come on, you can take a joke. You're the idol of millions of male libidos, I guess. But deep down, I'm just a guy like everyone else, looking for love.
Would you have a drink with you? The most original people deserve the most original vodka.
It was easier than I thought.
I was done in no time. Stain was a snap. Protective finish was smooth.
So easy I did it again.
Minwax makes and keeps wood beautiful, easily.
The number 10. It's more than just a number. It's reserved for the best. The playmaker. The leader. The one who will be remembered forever. Wear it well. And an entire nation will wear it with you. The 2010 FIFA World Cup on ESPN.
It's Toyota's National Sales Event, the perfect time to get the Toyota you've always wanted.
Clearwater Toyota is offering no-charge Toyota maintenance for 2 years, 25,000 miles on any new 2010 or 2011 Toyota, and 0% financing. New 2011 Camry LEs only $18,991, or lease for only $129 a month. See dealer for details. It's the National Sales Event at Clearwater Toyota, the clear choice, on US 19 or online at clearwatertoyota.com.
The Tilted Kilt Pub and Eatery.
A whole new experience in food, fun, drinks, and sports.
Bartenders and waitresses in kilts.
Plus plasma TVs with all the major sports ticket programming.
Shoot pool.
Play darts.
Or relax on the patio or at the bar.
Enjoy the best food from a wide-ranging menu for lunch or dinner.
Open 7 days a week till 2 a.m.
With food served till 1 a.m.
The Tilted Kilt Pub and Eatery. Clearwater's hottest new establishment for fun, food, drinks, and sports.
Welcome back to Kia NBA Shootaround.
Memorable conference finals game 6s. Thanks to a Magic last-second deflection, Lakers beat the Spurs by 1 and advanced. What do you remember about that game, Magic?
Well, you know, tough playing against George Gervin, my idol. So we won. It was a tough series, though.
There's my man Magic with his man. And how about this one, 1984, Lakers over the Suns by 2. Magic at 16, 13, and 11. And then in 97 against Stockton and the Rockets, it sent them to the finals. After scoring fewer than 10 points in the first 3 games of the series, Rashard Lewis has put up back-to-back games of double-digit scoring. No shock, Magic won both games. With more on Rashard and the Magic O, here's JB working the virtual world.
Welcome inside the EA Sports Virtual Playbook. We're going to take a look at some Orlando Magic pick and roll. Why is it so effective and why it's so important? Jameer Nelson is going to come off Dwight Howard. Now, priority number one, when you run pick and roll, get the ball in the paint. Turn the corner, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. Jameer Nelson's able to turn the corner, and as he approaches the paint, he forces Ray Allen to be the help defender. That's exactly what you want if you're the Orlando Magic. Why? Because now you've left Vince Carter right at the top, a good three-point shooter. Kevin Garnett now has a decision to make. Does he rotate to Vince Carter and leave Rashard Lewis? You have to. Vince Carter, too good a three-point shooter. So as he rotates, Vince Carter, a very willing passer, finds Rashard Lewis in the corner for a wide-open three. Rashard Lewis shot 45% in corner threes this season. The Orlando Magic are a great three-point shooting team, not just Rashard Lewis. Plenty of guys they can put in that position. Boston knows it. They single cover Howard. If they continue to single cover Howard, this pick and roll has got to be run to perfection for the Orlando Magic to win this series.
JB, thanks. Tonight's Valvoline predicting victory question. Which player other than Dwight Howard needs to have the biggest impact for the Magic to win tonight? The people say Jameer Nelson, 38.1%, barely over Vince Carter at 37.3%. JB, do you agree?
We've got some smart people, but Vince Carter shouldn't be at 37.
He shouldn't be
The Orlando Magic have won the last 2 games, and he's 4 for 19 in those games. So we don't need Vince. It is Jameer Nelson.
When JB talks, people listen. Hey, still ahead between them, they have 8 rings. Former Lakers stars Magic Johnson and Byron Scott, and Byron's high top fade talk about playoff pressure.
Predicting Victory is brought to you by Valvoline. We can't guarantee your team's success, but Valvoline will guarantee your engine up to 300,000 miles.
So you'll have my daughter home by 11?
Probably. Sometimes probably doesn't cut it. That's why Valvoline guarantees your engine up to 300,000 miles. Sign up at Valvoline.com.
The Indianapolis race is on. Just look at those boys drive. The checkered flag is out. Who's going to win?
The Indianapolis 500, Sunday at noon Eastern on ABC.
Denied.
The master suite has a completely updated master bath.
It's got a screened-in back porch and a large backyard.
It's the perfect home, in excellent condition and ready to move in.
Anytime, anywhere, no one connects you with the home of your dreams like Coldwell Banker. We never stop moving.
Lame. Oh. Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Racing's not about winning, it's about making friends.
Shut it, Pinky.
Blur. Race like a big boy. Rated everyone 10 and up.
Here.
So, you like what you see?
Absolutely.
Revealing enough for you.
Yeah. When did Coors Light get these new windows?
What?
Windows. Thank you.
Introducing the new Coors Light Cold Activation Window. Now you can see your beer is cold before you buy it.
It's a fire hazard.
Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Now through July 31st, get up to an $8,000 credit when you buy a participating home listed with a Coldwell Banker agent. Go to coldwellbanker.com/buyer bonus for details.
Welcome back to Kia NBA Shootaround.
Tonight, the pressure intensifies for both teams. Boston will try to avoid a Game 7. Orlando must win to survive. Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals is next on ESPN.
It's New York City that is usually known for the saying, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. But when it comes to athletes, it might apply more to Philadelphia. Not easy to be loved in the city of brotherly love, where fans once booed Santa Claus. But you know Jameer Nelson will always get love in Philly after leading upstart St. Joe's to an undefeated regular season in 2004. Get a victory tonight, and Orlando will probably join in on that love fest. With more in the Magic as they try and even this series up, let's go back up to Boston. Mike Breen, Mark Jackson, and Jeff Van Gundy.
Stuart, before the series began, Celtic coach Doc Rivers said Jameer Nelson was their most important player. Not their best player, but he was the man that makes them go. And so far he's been proven right, especially as you guys talked about the last couple of games. But also a key component for these Orlando Magic last couple of games. They've gotten back to their strength. Three-point shooting. It was so strong for them during the regular season, not early in this series, but man, are they on fire right now, Jeff. What's the difference?
Well, going against this vaunted Celtics defense, to open up your three-point game, you've got to play with offensive energy. You've got to have great space.
Welcome back to Kia NBA Shootaround.
Dwight Howard was a Superman for the Magic in Game 4. Now can the defending Eastern Conference champions survive and head back to Boston for a Game 6? The drama unfolds next on ESPN.
I see you, Paul Pierce. Handle your business tonight. When Boston fans look back at his career, the truth of the matter is that the truth, Paul Pierce's nickname, will go down as one of the best players in franchise history. Already the dude is third on the all-time scoring list behind Larry Bird and John Havlicek. And if Paul Pierce scores 11 points tonight, he'll be the 9th Celtic ever with 2,000 career postseason points. And the other 8 guys, they are all in the Basketball Hall of Fame. With more on Pierce in tonight's game, let's send it back up to Boston. Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, and Mark Jackson.
Stuart, Paul Pierce has been superb so far in these Eastern Conference Finals, putting up some terrific numbers, but he was annoyed with himself at the end of regulation of Game 4, had a chance to win the game, had a chance to end the series. Instead, it went into overtime, and the Magic stay alive. And that's the amazing things about the playoffs, Jeff. Here we have all this scrutiny, all the analyzing of games from start to finish, yet how often does it come down to one single play makes the difference between a win and a loss?
Well, winning is so fragile in the NBA, and fourth quarter execution, when all the pressure is on, has to be precise. In the last game, I agreed with Doc Rivers' decision not to call timeout. That way you keep Orlando's best defenders on the bench. So he's being guarded by Carter. J.J. Redick's on the floor, but Jameer Nelson does a smart thing. As Rondo spaces behind the three-point line, Nelson roams and plays center field and is able to disrupt Paul Pierce's rhythm as he tries to create the last-second shot. Earlier in the fourth quarter, when they were down 7, Rondo did a better job spacing the floor, getting along the baseline to open up this driving gap, which allowed Pierce to take it to the rim and finish. It comes down to simple but important things. The Celtics will be better here tonight.
Crunch time execution, though, all the important part of winning a playoff series, winning games. The other part is your stars playing like stars. That happened for Orlando in Game 4.
Well, no question about it. Stan Van Gundy said Dwight Howard has been very good in this series, but he wants him to be great, dominating every aspect of the ball game, and he certainly did that in Game 4. You talk about Dwight Howard's approach, solid screens in pick and roll situations, and then attack the paint area. Did it all night long. Get into position, give a target, and then catch. If you don't finish, get after it again. Great job of dominating, using that length, and Bill Russell would be proud of this. Comes up with a block shot, keeps it alive, and then take advantage of the post-up matchup. Outstanding job all game long in Game 4. The series has been special. Game 3 struggled, but Game 4 not only scored, but controlled the paint area.
Granted, it's only one win, but it allows them to come back home, play on their home floor. And Stuart, if they get a win tonight, it gets very interesting in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Thanks a lot, guys, and it does get extremely interesting. You know, the Celtics did have their 6-game playoff winning streak snapped Monday night. Everybody is entitled to an off night, but Mike Wilbon, are there concerns that you have for the Celtics heading into Game 5 tonight on the road?
There wouldn't have been, would not have been, except I had a conversation with Doc Rivers on Sunday. And going into Game 4, he was talking about how veteran teams, and I know you guys can identify with this, will find a groove, and you don't have to worry too much about them. And going in, Doc said that has not been his team's MO all season. It was more like a younger team in terms of certain things mentally. they didn't necessarily find a groove, and he would have to find those buttons to push to keep them on edge. Well, that didn't work out so well in Game 4, but I don't know that Doc was all that surprised. I know he's just clearly not panicked, but Irvin, you've been on veteran teams. That sounds like a weird characteristic, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, but to me, I'm concerned for the Celtics because it's only one day in between Game 4 and 5. Then Paul Pierce looked a little fatigued to me. You know, in the overtime, he was 0 for 4. The Celtics as a team only scored 6 points in overtime at home. So that concerned me, JB. They looked a little tired to me.
Paul's shots, Paul Pierce's misses, they were all short. What does that mean?
You're losing your legs. All legs. Didn't have his legs into it. So that means that he's getting tired. So watch for that tonight.
The pessimism is back. Thank you, buddy. Come on. The Celtics are up 3-0. They play a poor game at home, and they lose. No big deal. Don't worry about it.
They played a poor game at home.
Look, we've seen it all season long. This is one of the worst teams at home that are in the playoffs. They were 24-17 during the regular season. They had fourth-quarter leads they blew throughout the regular season. They played poorly. And in Game 4, it was nothing new. They did the same thing. Isolation basketball, turning it over. We're going to take a look at some plays. A straight post up for Kevin Garnett, a nice cut here by Rondo, and he simply makes a terrible pass. Turnover. Here, we're going to run a pick and roll between Rondo and Paul Pierce. Now, normally, Rondo's going to get to the basket here. He's got a lane. He doesn't. Takes a forced shot. Pierce, at the end of regulation to win the game. This game is tied. Look at this possession. Why is Rondo standing out there? He can't shoot the ball from there. He's clogging it up. Jameer Nelson doesn't have to worry about him, so now he can create the double team. Redick's doing a good job of staying on Pierce. Ray Allen's open on the other side, and they don't even get a shot up to win the ball game with 9 seconds to go. Now, KG, he's got an opportunity to shoot the basketball. He's not looking to score, doesn't take the shot, throws the ball away. Another play, again, indicative of the Boston Celtics, how they played a lot through this regular season. So I'm not concerned. They're in the game. They hold Orlando to 86 points in the regular during the regular game here, and it's a bad game.
So it sounds like you agree with Doc to a degree about sort of the things that happened and plagued them all season long.
That's all it was. It was poor execution throughout the whole ball game. Now they're a great road team. I think they're going to go down there and play with a lot of confidence.
But it's a little different. Why? Because Matt Barnes woke up, 10 points. Rashard Lewis woke up, 13 points. You're getting these guys playing well. They play well tonight. It's going to be a world of trouble for the Boston Celtics.
Interestingly, though, Boston may have Orlando right where they want them. Since the Big Three came to Boston, they have thrived in this exact situation tonight. In their last 3 playoffs, the Celtics are only 2-7 when they play a first closeout game. But they are a nasty 5-1 in their second closeout game. Their only loss last year in the conference semis against the Orlando Magic. Coming up on Kia NBA Shootaround, Rasheed Lewis and the Magic are now 3-0 in elimination games. Rashard Lewis needs to do some work tonight. Game 5 coming up at the bottom of the hour on ESPN. Coming up next, there's been a lot said just after the heat of the battle. The best sounds from the playoff podium are coming up, and we've heard all this, including this.
Dwight, first a comment, that's a good color on you. Second thing. And,
whoa.
Huh? Isn't that a good color?
You said it's a good color on me?
Yeah, it's a good color.
Whoa.
Hi, I'm Ellen. Here's what I can do with 4G from Sprint. I'm using my 4G mobile broadband card to download the multimedia client presentation my associate, Dave, here was supposed to bring. And while that's happening, Dave will attempt to explain to our boss why he left the one thing he was responsible for back at the office. Okay, got it. What can you do with 4G?
Get a free 3G, 4G card from Sprint. It's more than a wireless network. It's a wireless revolution.
Bill Johnson is still one of the few remaining people who haven't tried our new Domino's pizza. That ends today. Bill Johnson, how you doing?
Now get 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for just $5.99 each. Know a holdout? Tell us at pizzaholdouts.com and you could win free pizza for a year.
Great meeting, guys. Thank you. I've got to catch the train. Whew.
What's up, man?
Why are we here?
I got you.
a long, hot day, you gotta catch the train. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
State Farm is bigger than Geico and Progressive combined. 40 million drivers, more savings, and discounts up to 40%. But don't just take my word for it. Talk to your neighbors, La Familia. Then call a State Farm agent and see how much you could be saving.
We never quit. We battle and scratch. We fight our way to become the world champions.
And these guys are champs.
Soccer's best will shine in South Africa. Who is your pick to win the cup? Go to ESPN.com/bracket to play now. The 2010 FIFA World Cup on ESPN.
Tonight could be the final game at Amway Arena. Orlando's new digs open up next season. Ironically, it was the Magic who played the final game at the fabled Boston Garden. 95 East first round. You saw Larry Bird watching Shaq, and Penny Hardaway led the Magic to a 3-1 series victory after Sherman Douglas missed a last-second three. Shaq had the last word.
They played well, they played good, but to all my people in Orlando, Boston Garden is now closed.
And this is the end of the Boston Garden. As the Celtics have been eliminated, you watch the last gasp of Celtics past and present.
So if Orlando wins tonight, that will set up a pressure-filled Game 6 up in Boston Friday night on ESPN. Coverage would begin with us, 7:30 Eastern, Kia NBA Shootaround. Now to some storylines from this series. When the going gets tough, big fella gets going. Big Dwight averaging 20 points, 16 boards in 6 elimination games. In 22 closeout games, Paul Pierce putting up 23 points and almost 5 assists. And sorry, Doc, the Celtics head coach, 3rd worst winning percentage in the series, clinching games, and is only 1-8 in those games on the road.
Grant Hill on fire. Hill taking it into the lane. Guess who? Hill scores. Up the hill with Grant.
Grant Hill just so good. You see how spry he is at this age of his.
Grant Hill was it, the dude. I mean, forget Harold Miner. Grant had the skill, smarts, hops, and pedigree to be the next Michael Jordan. A 2-time champion at Duke, Hill came into the league in '94, complete package. And truth is, he was actually more LeBron before LeBron. But after 6 seasons in Detroit, the injury sledgehammer hammered him. With the Magic, Grant missed over 350 games in 7 seasons. Now at 37 years old, he has resurrected his career in Phoenix. Game 1 against the Lakers, Grant's 23-point performance left all of us wondering what could have been. Michael Wilbon with Mr. Intelligent Class.
Grant Hill with the explosion! Oh, my!
Grant, you were a perennial all-star when you first came into the league. But I'm still betting that this year is the most gratifying season of your career. Am I wrong?
No, it is. This year, by far, is more enjoyable, more gratifying, more fulfilling than all the great individual years before the injury. And I think the reason for that is, you know, having it taken away from me and having the doubt, the uncertainty of being able to play again, and really having to fight to get back and to be able to play. I think having experienced all that, the real highs in college and my first 6 years in the league with all that success, and then to, all of a sudden it be gone. And to have, doubt and worry and all that stuff about my career. And then now, I'm asked to guard Ginobili and asked to guard Kobe. Well, I don't know if that's good, but, it's kind of an honor. It is an honor. It's an honor that they're talking about me in some role, talking about my game, talking about how good or bad I'm playing, and they're not talking about my health.
How do your expectations for whatever's left, how have they changed?
Wow. I think when you're young and you come in the league and you have success early, you start thinking about your place in the history of the game and your legacy and you worry about things like that, how many points, Hall of Fame, all those different things that I think it's human nature to feel that way. I think a lot of guys feel that way who are on that level. And for me, my Hall of Fame is the fact that I'm still playing. The fact that I've gone through all that and I'm back, I'm competing, and I'm reliable. It really has changed my outlook on my career.
A nice move by Grant Hill, who's played well.
You were sitting on a television set alongside us, and it looked like career might have ended at whatever it was then, 12, 13 years. What new goals do you have for your career that you might not have had 3 years ago?
Wow, I think that experience 3 years ago, working with you and John, and really, having a chance to experience the finals. I'd never really been to an NBA finals, but to really soak it all in and be a part of that, it's like, wow, this would be awesome. This would be awesome to experience.
Grant and the Suns, Game 5 against the Lakers tomorrow night. The Orlando Magic coming onto the court. It is time for them. Game 5. Big Dwight and company. That game coming up right here on ESPN, but we're not done yet with Kia NBA Shootaround.
Ribs from a fast food joint. What a joke.
No, they're real.
No way.
They're fire grilled.
Believe it. Bone-in fire-grilled barbecue ribs from Burger King.
Is it the end of TV as you know it? Introducing the LG Infinia series, resetting the standards of design and entertainment with 3D technology, taking TV to a new dimension. So, is it a TV or something better?
It's almost hard to believe. Bone-in fire-grilled barbecue ribs from Burger King. Slow-cooked and smoky. Put on your bib, hoss. Only at BK.
Saturday, bragging rights are on the line as 43 teams look to leave their mark at the track NASCAR calls home. Coming off a dominating win at Dover, reigning series champ Kyle Busch closes in on points leader Brad Keselowski, while Kevin Harvick goes gunning for his third win of the season at NASCAR's mile-and-a-half Beast of the Southeast. The nationwide series at Charlotte. Coverage begins Saturday at 2 Eastern on ABC.
It's Toyota's National Sales Event, the perfect time to get the Toyota you've always wanted.
Clearwater Toyota is offering no-charge Toyota maintenance for 2 years, 25,000 miles on any new 2010 or 2011 Toyota, and 0% financing. New 2010 Corolla LE's only $13,990, or lease for only $99 a month. See dealer for details. It's the National Sales Event at Clearwater Toyota, the clear choice, on US 19 or online at clearwatertoyota.com.
Drive 2011 Camrys for $269 a month, sign and drive, or buy it with 0% for 60 months during Autoway Toyota's Memorial Day sales event. Any questions?
Did you say 0% for 60 months on a 2011 Camry?
You got it. Right now at Autoway Toyota, get a 2011 Camry with 0% for 5 whole years, or lease it for just $269 a month, sign and drive.
Autoway!
We're Autoway Toyota. We're Auto Nation. We're changing everything. Any questions? AutowayToyota.com.
Welcome back to Kia NBA Shootaround.
In Game 4, Ray Allen had 22 points in the Celtics loss. It was the first time in these playoffs that Ray scored over 18 and Boston lost. They're now 7-1 in those games where he scores at least 18. With more from Boston, let's check in with Doris Burke with one of the Magic sharpshooters, Vince Carter. Doris?
Stuart, thank you. Vince, one of the things Stan Van Gundy said was that you guys couldn't have won Game 4 if you did not believe you could win this series. What gives you confidence that you guys can still take this thing?
That everybody else on our team has confidence. I think when you look around the locker room, regardless of being down 0-3, everybody still believed. We knew that we hadn't played our best basketball yet. Yeah, we had a couple of close opportunities where we could have possibly won the game with a few corrections, but we didn't get the job done. But at the same time, everybody in that locker room still believed.
After Game 4, you said to your teammates, I owe you one. You sense some responsibility in this thing. How do you deliver on that, Vince?
Just come to play carefree basketball. Don't worry about anything but getting the job done.
Looking for a little Vince-sanity here in Orlando, Stuart.
Doris, thank you very much. Guys, for either team, who's the most important player on the court tonight?
The man you just saw, Vince Carter. I mean, I think he's still capable of putting up big games. We're talking about a guy who's averaged 23 points for his career. Just a couple of years ago, averaged 25 points over a season. I know he had a bad game, a rough patch. Vince.
I'm going to go with Rajon Rondo. Game 4, early foul trouble. He had some muscle cramps, some leg cramps. Magic Johnson has repeatedly said he's the best Celtic. Am I right?
You're absolutely
okay.
right.
Well, then he's got to play like it tonight. Push the basketball, get in transition, guard Jameer Nelson in that pick and roll a lot better than he did in Game 4, and control the game. Get guys shots where they need to, and be the menace that he is on defense every single night. This guy's got to play big for Boston today.
That's funny where you picked Rondo. I picked the other point guard, Jameer Nelson, because he has to do the same thing for his team JB was talking about, but in a different way. He has to push the ball, make the tempo fast for the Orlando Magic. That way he can get Rashard Lewis involved. He can get Matt Barnes involved. He can get J.J. Redick involved and Vince Sanity involved. Also, he did a wonderful job of the pick and roll, making sure that he can get into the middle, create, and then throw those high lobs to Dwight Howard. That's how he got over 30 points in Game 4. He must continue that in Game 5 in terms of Dwight Howard's play as well as Jameer Nelson's play.
Shocker that you would pick a point guard. I don't know. One thing that we can all agree on is that no matter what happens on the court, players got to talk about it post-game when somebody puts a microphone all up in their face. We've heard some priceless material this postseason. Maybe not as good as when Doc Rivers was asked a couple of years ago how Kevin Garnett's injury was, and the Celtics coach said, quote, "You realize Doc is just a nickname, right?" But still, there's some good stuff. Here's what happens when players get to the podium.
Is that a New York accent?
A little bit.
You always got the first question, don't you?
It's just disappointing that you got a Lakers top on.
I don't know if we can have enough time. Is this live?
I was booed a lot. My whole life I've been booed. College, I was getting booed a lot. Boston, they don't like me over there. They don't like me over here either. It's okay. I have my friends. I don't care.
What?
What's so good about Cleveland? I mean, I never heard anybody say I'm going to Cleveland on vacation.
Think about the Hornets 2 years ago?
You were in a similar position last
No, I won't think about that at all. These guys are grown men. They don't need me to say. Now, remember the Hornets, fellas. We got to really pull it together for Game 3. Maybe I'll talk about the Gipper.
Kobe, how tough is it for you to sit there while the lead is evaporating?
No, I mean, it's tough, but if, it really got tough for me, I just checked myself in.
Oh, Williams going all the way
Even their free throw defense was great tonight. One of the best free throw defenses I've seen in a long time.
My job is to do what I do.
It is what it is.
Game by game.
Fish is being fish.
Whatever happens, happens. Well, I would say you can live with what happens. I can't live with anything.
Dwight, first a comment, that's a good color on you. Second thing. And,
whoa.
Huh? Isn't that a good color?
You said it's a good color on me?
Yeah, it's a good color.
Whoa.
We need to even say anything.
I guess Dwight was better, but he's glad that they didn't ask, I like what you've done with your hair lately. Move on, who is your favorite guy to go to a quote for?
For insight, I got 3 guys, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, Grant Hill, my top 3. But for entertainment, for years and years and years, it's been Shaquille O'Neal. And there's Noah now. It's got to be Noah.
What's the worst question you've ever asked?
Wow. There's a long list of those. And Magic can't reveal it to him because I probably asked half of them to him. Long time in front of his locker.
Pop was great. Pop was great.
Pop is always
Come
great.
on,
He
Pop,
really
Stan Van Gundy. Yeah, they're all good.
Phil Jackson, all of them. I mean, that's what it's all about, especially in the playoff. But I like Coach Van Gundy. He always gives you something good, too.
JB, what was the best question you were ever asked in the locker room?
Well, I probably never sat down at one. I don't know. I mean, some of the questions are ridiculous. Like Pop says, I mean.
Huh?
Are you serious? Come on. Come on, guys.
I like Kobe. I just checked myself in.
Truth. It's truth.
Well, but
What happened?
This is a great tie. That's a
Is it
really
good
good
color
color
on
on
me?
you.
You like that?
That's neat.
Like that.
Periwinkle.
Brings out your eyes. All right, we still got more to come here on Kia NBA Shootaround. This guy is pretty good to the mic, but right now Dwight Howard is all business, getting ready for a win or go home. Game 5 in Orlando. We're not going home. We're going on the floor. Coming up next.
challenge makes you stronger.
Every day, every moment.
You want my belt? Come and get it.
So, you want to be a fighter? This is how.
Rated T for team.
PlayStation. Marty, listen, the McCarthy deal is in the can. We are going off the grid. We are going to be rolling in it, bro.
New KFC Extra Crispy Strips, double breaded for a big crunch. Get 3 with a side biscuit and drink for $5.
Yeah, some guys have never even had a mic, so beer is all they ever drink?
Yeah, it's like being with the same woman your whole life.
Getting married this weekend. That one's on him.
Don't forget the mics. Lemonade for grown-ups. Soccer's best will shine in South Africa. Who is your pick to win the cup? Go to ESPN.com/bracket to play now. The 2010 FIFA World Cup on ESPN.
Kia NBA Shootaround. Brought to you by the all-new 2011 Kia Sorento, official vehicle of the NBA.
Some memorable Game 5s in the conference finals, Magic. We are sorry to bring this back to you every year.
Stuart.
Rockets, Lakers, 1986. Ralph Sampson's buzzer beater eliminates Magic and the Lakers. 1987, Pistons. Wilbon, channel your inner.
First hit the ball over to DJ. DJ lays it in.
And today is what, Wilbon?
The anniversary of that play.
And Cavs Pistons 2007. LeBron scored the last 29 of 30 for Cleveland, and the game winner with 2.2 left in the second overtime. A classic performance. Let's go on the floor at Amway Arena. Mike Wilbon, Paul Pierce, does he need another title to be considered a Celtics legend?
Yes. You want to know why?
Why?
Russell, Kuzi, Havlicek, Heinsohn, Bird, Sam and KC Jones, Parrish, McHale, DJ Cowens. I left out a lot of guys.
Jeez.
They got multiple. Some of those guys have up to, what, two hands full?
11.
Yeah, Bill Russell, 11. So he's great. Paul is great. But to get with that group, you got to win at least more, maybe even another one beyond that.
Perfect answer. Yo, JB, Dwight Howard, what do you expect from him tonight?
Well, I expect the same numbers if he gets a playmaker like he got out of Jameer Nelson in Game 4. You get him the ball on the move through pick and rolls. You can throw lobs, offensive rebounds. He can put those numbers up if he's put in the right position. He's not going to dominate just straight posting up. On the move, if the Celtics do a better job on that Jameer Nelson pick and roll, he might have problems getting off tonight.
All right, from one point guard to another, Magic Johnson, how do you think Rajon Rondo will come out tonight?
I think he's going to come out fast and quick. And if you're the best player, then you'll put up triple-doubles like you've been putting up throughout the playoffs. So I'm looking for a triple-double from Rajon Rondo.
Triple-double tonight.
There's only one man in league history who could say that.
If Magic Johnson says, I want a triple-double.
That's it.
No pressure, Rajon. No pressure at all. Yeah. All right, guys, it's that time. Last time y'all gave a prediction, all of you all swept them out, and you were wrong. Give me a prediction.
Orlando's at home, got something to still prove in front of their fans. I think they're going to win.
What Irvin said, Orlando with some momentum at home, extended series.
Celtics will win.
Ooh.
They're going to close down Amway Arena.
Are you just saying that because last time you went with them on the sweep and you were wrong?
I'm just waiting for Wilbon. Whatever he picked.
Okay, all right.
All right.
We'll see about
Wrap it up.
Thanks for watching Kia NBA Shootaround. The first half of Game 5 coming up. We will see you at halftime.
Young warrior, your destiny is now. Watch the NBA Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Brought to you by the 2011 Jaguar XJ, the stunning result of taking a very different road. And Sprite, proud partner of the NBA.
This is unlike any car you've ever seen before. This is power with efficiency. This is an interior that exceeds even the promise of the exterior. This is the all-new Jaguar XJ. The stunning result of taking a very different road.
Every 2011 XJ comes with best-in-class platinum coverage, including a 550 warranty and complimentary scheduled maintenance.